Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me 𝗤𝙯𝘲𝗏 𝗏𝘗𝘗 as we take a look at Maharashtra elections and some other topics, including Trump as the new president of the United States. Let's welcome 𝗤𝙯𝘏 𝗏𝘗𝘗. But before that, a small request to all of you to please like this video. 𝗤𝙯𝘏𝘏𝘗, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Shreyati. Thank you. It's getting very, very hot in Maharashtra in the sense, both climatically also. It's a dry weather, only the nights are cool. But politics is very hot. And we have seen now the Prime Minister is in full gear in Maharashtra. He has taken forward his campaign, which is Ek Hai To Safe Hai. And this campaign has really gathered speed. And this campaign, we are seeing it for the second day. Today, the PM has been speaking on this very campaign and targeting the Congress, targeting the 𝗤𝗃𝗃𝘀𝗃 Aghadi, and how they are trying to divide every section so that they can garner votes. Now, sir, in this whole exercise, there is a disclosure that has come, rather a revelation, that All India Ulema Board has been communicating with the 𝗤𝗃𝗃𝘀 Aghadi leaders and placing their demand. And their demands are quite shocking because they are talking of 10% quota, that is 10% quota for Muslims in government jobs. And apart from that, they have been seeking 15,000 rupees kind of a salaries for all imams. They have been also seeking a ban on RSS in Maharashtra. Now, Sharad Pawar's party is quite surprised because they had even responded to that. And today, NCP leaders are trying to find out how this letter got leaked. And is open canvas for, to secure Muslim votes, which is completely is turning this campaign in Maharashtra, topside down, because this is the first time where they have openly the Ulema board is pressing on Aghadi to really come out with some announcements. They are saying you oppose this Waqf amendment bill, which is before Parliament, and which will be taken up when Parliament winter session opens on November 25th. And then they are also talking of removing all encroachment on Waqf property. Sir, we all know what's happening in Karnataka, where the government launched a campaign sending notices to farmers who were supposedly sitting on Waqf property. And in other places, there have been instances where some temples have been asked to, which are very ancient temples. Some of the temples even date back to even before the advent of Islam. Even they are older than Islam itself. And they have been told that they are on Waqf property. And I'm not joking. I mean, the whole thing is this Ulema board asserting itself, and they have been assuring MVA leaders, that Vikas Aghadi leaders, that more than 180 NGOs have been canvassing for Muslim votes for Congress, for UBT, as well as Sharad Pawar's Shiv Sena. Now, this is snowballing into a big controversy. And with Prime Minister saying Ek Hai To Safe Hai, though there is nothing objectionable in if the Prime Minister calls for unity, but that is also being seen as a divisive statement. Now, of all people who is a bit upset by these statements is Kharge himself, Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief. He has asked which of this. Why? I mean, he's accusing the BJP of confusing voters because Yogi Adityanath comes to Maharashtra and again repeats "batenge to katenge," and here Prime Minister is talking of Ek Hai To Safe Hai. So, what is exactly the BJP's game plan? Why are you, which is the true message you are sending? And of course, Prime Minister is not mincing words. We have seen him yesterday. We saw him yesterday in Nashik, and today we saw him in Nanded and Akola, and yesterday it was in 𝗒𝙗𝗏 and Nashik, where the broad campaign now, the Maharashtra campaign, is moving on 4 points, sir, which the Mahayuti and the Prime Minister himself leading that campaign. One, the kind of welfare work that 𝗥𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝘗𝑆 government managed to roll off on the ground, including special schemes for women, including that 1,500 rupees per month under 𝗥𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝙯, and as well as other some of the infrastructure projects which have been taken on fast track across Maharashtra. And Prime Minister has been even taking the name of 𝗥𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝙯. I mean, this is also very important message coming, that the leadership of 𝗥𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝘗𝘀 has come for praise from the Prime Minister. He says, Mahayuti under 𝗥𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝘗𝘀 has achieved all this. And it is working with my government to bring faster aid. So sending across clear message that this Mahayuti, and he has also taken a name of Ajit Pawar. It's a different story that there are already some frictions happening, but these frictions are make-believe or these frictions are real. We'll get to see in the coming days. Like for instance, Ajit Pawar has taken objection to Yogi's comment, 𝗤𝗂𝘅 𝗪𝗪𝗪, saying that why are people from outside Maharashtra making such statements? These are not acceptable to the people of Maharashtra. We have our own tradition. In a sense, saying that that Yogi's campaign message is rather divisive. Of course, Ajit Pawar is part of Mahayuti, but Prime Minister, today took the name of Ajit Pawar also, saying that these are all part of this campaign. I mean, these part of this Mahayuti. And sir, the other interesting side which has happened is, I mentioned about 108 NGOs working in Maharashtra to mobilize Muslim votes for Mahavikas Aghadi. Now, similarly, there are about 65 affiliated bodies which are connected with the Sangh Parivar. They have been also, on the streets. They have been sending volunteers to different houses, to different homes, with the message that Sajagraha, that is, be awake, be vigilant. This message is coming, and I've personally seen in different cities where particularly women volunteers of the RSS are knocking at different homes, giving them a pamphlet, explaining what is happening in the country today, what are the dangers, and how they have to be very, very vigilant. And it talks about, nowhere the pamphlet says it's from Sangh Parivar anything, but their volunteers have been trying to tell the people to be vigilant against the usual issues which have been making headlines, whether it is land grab or love jihad or forced release conversion or fake conversions. So these are issues, some of the social issues that are also being projected. So we can see that this time from the RSS side also there have been some 50,000 to 70,000 small meetings which are happening across Maharashtra to convey to the people in a very indirect way as to how they must have complete vigilance and how they have to be exercise their franchise this time. So it looks like this election is now really has moved into a phase where it's getting closer and closer. It's a neck and fight in many places. There is a question of rebel candidates. There is also a question of course, Ajit Pawar's role, the fact that he made Nawab Malik his party candidate despite objection from the BJP. And similarly, we have seen, and the BJP, of course, said, look, we are not going to back Nawab Malik, even if he's part of. But beyond that, nothing happened. So consequently, there have been speculation as to whether BJP and Ajit Pawar have a kind of sort of an agreement where they feel they will let Ajit Pawar do what he wants to secure the minority votes for his candidates. Let him do that. But on the broader plane, we'll make it very clear that we are not part of his strategy. But then he is coming out against Yogi's remarks, this batenge to katenge, saying that in Maharashtra we don't believe in this kind of thing. We believe in the message given by Shahu Maharaj, Jyotirao Phule, Jyoti Phule and others, saying we don't believe in, we have our own social reformers. That kind of a message, which of course today you had UBT MP Sanjay Raut himself saying that we are safe until the PM comes here. So people of Maharashtra are safe. I mean, whether he was referring to because Agadi's sense of safety before the PM's campaign or not, I do not know. But what is happening, sir, in Maharashtra, and also if you look at it in contrast with what's happening in Jharkhand, the Jharkhand BJP has rather come out more forcefully against the issue of Rohingyas, infiltrators from Bangladesh, settling down in tribal lands and even getting married to the local people, local tribal women, and then laying claim for the land. So now we have seen BJP leaders, particularly Amit Shah and today JP Nadda, BJP president, saying, look, we will not let children of these born of such wedlock to get ST status, because there is a lot of duplicity involved, and we are not going to allow this people trying to infiltrators trying to get the benefit of the reservation for scheduled tribes. And of course, and Amit Shah has also made a very big statement in his Jharkhand campaign, which is that uniform civil code will be brought in, but tribals will be exempted. And I think that that's a very important message, because there was a lot of, I would say, some kind of worries among the tribal section as to what would happen to their traditions, whether they would be protected if uniform civil code came. And so that assurance has been given. But repeatedly, the BJP focus is, why is Hemant Soren's government, which is supposed to protect the tribal rights, tribal identity, has allowed this kind of infiltration go unchecked? They have managed to come in, settle, or even encroach upon tribal lands, and then try to normalize it by way of marriages. And then is it because of some kind of vote bank politics that is being practiced? So this is going on. And of course, Rahul is also on the campaign. I'm mentioning Rahul's campaign in particularly because in Jharkhand, he has been mentioning that the Indian tax system is against the poor. I mean, the machinery of the Indian state is against the tribals. This is also a kind of formulation which the Maoists have been using in states like Jharkhand, where you say that the present constitutional system of a scheme of things is heavily loaded against tribals. And in between, sir, Amit Shah has also responded to the demand regarding the recognition of the Sarna system, where the tribals believe that they have their own faith and they have their own customs which have to be protected. We have seen BJP also looking at that issue. So this election is getting really in its final stage. So PM will be making more forays into Maharashtra. He is scheduled to address a rally in Pune on November 12th. So there will be more meetings. Each of these regions are being covered, from Khandesh to Marathwada, then to Konkan. And of course, there will be rallies in Mumbai also. And as I said earlier, PM doesn't want to do any kind of a carpet bombing kind of style of campaign, rather very restricted, very selected areas. But the fact that he has also tried to put the Congress on a kind of a test before the voters, is saying, why is Congress backing the demand for restoration of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir? And then comparing it with saying, look, Ambedkar Constitution had made no provision for 370. 370 was introduced by the Congress then as a special status, and when we have removed it, why is Congress trying to, they want to bring back the same thing? So you can see the name of Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar, Balasaheb Ambedkar, evokes very, very strong sentiments and respect in Maharashtra. So we are seeing some kind of a BJP going on the offensive, learning its lessons from the Lok Sabha elections, where they were on the back foot on the question that that the BJP is out to completely do away with quotas, do away with reservation, and that campaign was by the opposition was a very costly one for the BJP. So this time it is BJP which is going on the offensive, and Prime Minister himself taking the lead. Shree Iyer ji.
Thank you so much, sir. And one question that keeps coming up, sir. I read somewhere that there are 9 lakh illegals in Mumbai city alone who will be voting this time. And I don't have to tell you who the illegals are, which country and which religion they profess. With this kind of numbers, why is it that the 10 years now? See, this is where the 10-year works against you. In 10 years, the BJP government should have come up with a standard strategy or a working strategy that would prevent illegals from coming in, number one, and also prevent the existing illegally entered people to work in India but have something like a green card, permanent resident, not voting rights. This clear delineation, and I can't say that BJP didn't have the chance, especially in a state like Maharashtra where you have to fight for every vote. They were in power, sir. 5 years of Fadnavis, 2.5 years of Shinde. Out of the last 10 years, 7.5 years was BJP. Somewhere I feel that a system has not been put in place that is effective in checking this illegal migration. First of all, preventing. Second thing is that once they are in, at least try to make them to, bound them by permanent residency. Aadhaar card has been given to everybody, Shekhar-ji. It's not just to citizens. Aadhaar card is not a proof of citizenship. So somewhere what I'm trying to say, Shekhar-ji, is this a missed opportunity? Because there is one tweet by Dr. Tathagath Roy, whom I respect a lot, a very tall leader in West Bengal. He says in one village that he went, there were 10,000 illegal Bangladeshi/Rohingya families, only 37 Hindu families in Jharkhand. Sir, this is not India, sir. This is invasion by another word. It just hits you in the gut when you see these things. So 10 years have elapsed. I have not seen a single policy of the government that has effectively tried to at least, what we call as get their hands around this problem. Your thoughts, sir?
Definitely, sir. This issue of illegal migrants, we have been hearing it for the last so many years. Now, when the BJP was in the opposition, it was constantly calling for identifying the foreign immigrants, illegal immigrants, and then deporting them. And then the whole question is, before deportation, which is going to be a long process which involves courts, the at least the first step, as you mentioned, was who should have been that those who have been detected, they are at least struck off the electoral rolls. Now, some exercise has been identified, but and it was initiated, and in Assam particularly, the issue of National Register of Citizens, NRC, which is a separate case, and from 1955 they had one, then there was another one. But we knew how botched up that exercises was, how many illegal migrants managed to find their names in the NRC when it was updated, and genuine citizens of Assam were left out. That's why when Citizenship Amendment Act was passed in Parliament, this became an issue in Assam, saying that we don't want anybody from any faith coming to India from Bangladesh. Whether it is Hindus who are coming because of persecution, religious persecution, or it's Muslims who are coming in search of economic livelihood in India. So that issue has been, a big problem. And recently you had the judgment on the Assam Accord, which was signed between Rajiv Gandhi government and the Assam Students Union, which had spearheaded the agitation, the Assam foreigners agitation. Now, after so many years, the question is, now we are going to have census. Repeatedly, whenever the CA issue has come, there has been a big opposition to whether this census will eventually lead to creation of a National Register of Citizens, NRC. Of course, the government has been saying that, look, let's have the census first and let us see. Now, this government now has got 2-3 key items on the agenda, sir. One, the census has to be conducted, and this is going to have a component of caste. That has been more or less decided, and it will be officially announced soon. And the census would start from January of 2025 and should be completed by December of 2025, so that in 26, things can be taken up for looking at the electoral rolls, and then the election commission would start the exercise of delimitation. Now that delimitation exercise is going to be another political challenge. Modi government has got, as I can see, it's a 3-4 crucial decisions to be taken and implemented. One is the census, after which there is going to be a census that will involve a caste component. I mean, so that you get some kind of a check on the whole caste configuration in this country. And then you are going to see after that delimitation. Delimitation means Lok Sabha seats in terms of population, some of them there will be a geographical redrawing, as well as in terms of which seats will remain reserved, which seats will be de-reserved, because delimitation involves rotation of seats. So that is second exercise. The third exercise, after delimitation is completed, you're going to have women's quota will be brought in. Now, this is going to be another very big thing. Now, with these three things, which will have to be done before the 2029 Lok Sabha elections. Now, before all this, or in consonance with all this, I should say, the issue of the illegal migrants issue. This is a big issue because Delhi, Bombay, Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, all major cities have got, the influx of people who have come from neighboring countries, particularly Bangladesh, and there is a big problem because it's going to be very difficult to even push them back into Bangladesh, because Bangladesh has said it doesn't acknowledge that its citizens are living here. And in states like West Bengal, where the ruling dispensation is completely backing the illegal migration, right? Whether it was left front government or today's Mamta's government, they don't want to disturb the apple cart because it is a porous borders where fencing has been taken up in some areas, but it's a long drawn exercise. And we know that demographic changes have happened in West Bengal, in districts close to the Bangladesh border, even in Bihar, which are close to what is called the chicken neck. So these are all ticking time bombs, which I do not know how the government, the central government and the state government, wherever they are going to, because it's all right to be made an election rhetoric in Jharkhand or in Maharashtra, but the whole question is, what do we do about it? Is it going to come every time when there is election? Then it will die down when it's over. Because one thing is clear, sir, even if you, at least the least we can do in this issue is at least detect them and at least strike them off the electoral rolls, so that your democracy is not vitiated, your elections are not vitiated. But what we can see is that the opposition, particularly the Congress party or regional parties, where the case may be, which is opposed to the BJP, they have been openly backing, opposing any kind of scrutiny of electoral rolls, any kind of scrutiny of foreigners. Virtually, which is like a typical ostrich-like approach, which not acknowledging the problem at all, and on the other hand, accusing the BJP, the Prime Minister, the central government of trying to polarize the issue, that you want to divide the voters so that you can benefit. But there is a pressure building up on available urban space, and in some places even in rural areas, because now in Jharkhand it is becoming a land grab issue. If people can easily come in and they are occupying lands in tribal concentrated areas, which means that it's a brewing problem, and when it is going to explode, one doesn't know. Sir.
Thank you, Shekhar-ji. One parting thought I want to leave with: when the country starts getting, say, census done, the kind of questions that they ask can easily determine if somebody is a citizen or not, without asking explicitly, show me your birth certificate. It is very easy to do that. I'm not going to give ideas here. If somebody wants to ask me or learn from, at least give me an ear from PMO, you're welcome to contact me. I'll be happy to say that. There are ways to ask questions at census time. that you can have very easily determination of somebody whether that person is a citizen or born in India or not. This is a low-hanging fruit. In fact, it's not even difficult. And why I say that is, sir, this cannot be a factor for somebody to come to power. It's morally wrong, ethically wrong. I mean, I don't see any way in which these parties, who now are reliant completely on a minority, and they just keep them always afraid and scared and fear mongering, and that's how they can keep them, so that they can keep winning votes. And then they do what I said in my book, Who Painted My Money White? Distribute illegal cash indiscriminately, 4 lakh crores. Sir, this is something, this is what their plan is, and Congress is very cunning in this way. I'm not saying intelligent, they are very cunning in this way. Same thing with Mamata Banerjee, same thing with DMK. These are all people who think that they are one step ahead of the game, and BJP can leapfrog them if they do some things right in census. Sir, I was so happy when they included caste, because the opposition was more vociferous that caste should be included. And when BJP said they were going to include caste, I was so happy, sir. Not only should you record the caste, you should also record your subcaste, sub-subcaste, sabka caste. You know why? This is important, because if there is a slight adjustment in reservation because of the number of people who are getting it, you need to be able to show them, look, this is the number of you. This is going to help the government in a huge way. So I'm just hoping that census, if designed properly, can do a lot of things without anybody having to tinker. You said how NRC people got their name registered. So the way to keep this thing out, Shekhar-ji, is to have the fewest number of people to access it. First of all, get reliable data. And again, in reliable data, what I'm saying is, the person who's taking census doesn't need to know the thing. You need to go through the list of questions. So the way you design your question, you will know your answer. That is what an IAS officer is there for. How many of you are IIT, IIM, and then IAS? You are the creme de la creme of the Indian society. You've said there is more money in IAS than going abroad and working. So at least apply your minds now. I'm saying this is a genuine thing. It's very easy to do this. Let's go on to the next topic, sir. And your viewers can give by way of comments. I'm not going to say what I have in mind, but this is a good exercise that can actually help the country go forward. Sir, back to you.
Yeah, sir, since we have been talking about Maharashtra elections, Sharad Pawar has been making some very interesting remarks, saying that, he wants to retire, this is, saying that he's tired and he wants to retire. He has contested so many elections. And then, so the question is, why is he speaking of retirement again? Is it to again evoke sympathies because the 𝗤𝗃𝗃 𝗢𝗃 is not, things are not looking as rosy as they initially appeared? Is it he want to evoke the sympathy, saying this is going to be his last election that he's overseeing because his daughter has been handling a lot of things? Of course, she has been very upset that Ajit Pawar revolted. And I mean, even though initially it was Sharad Pawar who encouraged Ajit Pawar to open a dialogue with BJP, and subsequently when he realized that Ajit Pawar was not willing to do at his bidding further, and also the fact that Sharad Pawar did not want to make Ajit Pawar his successor and rather would prefer his daughter, that is the time when Ajit Pawar decided to form his own party. But now he has been saying, that that I've done enough. I've been there, done there, that kind of mood. And he is today 83. So in a recent interview, when he was asked why is he constantly talking of this, this has been on my mind. So will it be this complete retirement politics? Well, Sharad Pawar's answer is no. I will continue to see that. I will try to focus on my party's growth, which means he's again looking at anointing a successor, probably post Maharashtra Assembly elections. And again, the focus will be on what kind of role he will give to his daughter, Supriya Sule. And 𝗤𝙑 𝗠𝘠 has been very forthcoming in the last couple of days, saying that there is no question of a patch-up with Ajit Pawar. And Sharad Pawar maintaining that Ajit Pawar, there cannot be patch-ups because he is in the company of BJP. And 𝗤𝙑 𝗠𝘠 saying that Ajit Pawar played into the hands of the BJP to split our party. And in Bharamati, it's completely again a family fight because Sharad Pawar this time got another of his brother's son to contest against Ajit Pawar. So it is uncle versus nephew, both at in fact at all levels. If Ajit Pawar is opposing Sharad Pawar, so Sharad Pawar got another of his nephew to oppose Ajit Pawar, rather grandnephew. So you can see how the whole thing is shaping up. But sir, very interesting. When Sharad Pawar was asked at 83, I mean, but then 83, you feel that is it an age? Sharad Pawar says 83 is not something that is stopping me. I want to focus on other things, building my party. And then he goes to remind people that Morarji Desai became Prime Minister when he was 84. So you can see this whole retirement story that is circulating now. It looks like wants to evoke the sympathy. And for Sharad Pawar this time, he has to prove that the NCP which is under him is the real NCP and not the NCP which is the official NCP which is with Ajit Pawar. So Ajit Pawar has a tremendous problem. You can see why he has not been willing to completely follow the BJP or the 𝗥𝙧 𝗢𝙨 line when it comes to minority votes. So there is a challenge for Ajit Pawar in this. And similarly, sir, between Senas also, this is going to be which is the real Sena? Is it the UBT one or is it the 𝗥𝙧 𝗢𝙨 one, which is now today known as the Shiv Sena with the bow and arrow as its symbol? So one can see that this election is not just about formation of the next government. It's about the future of these leaders. Future of leaders who, those leaders who decided to stay with Sharad Pawar and leaders who left along with Ajit Pawar. So this is an election that is leaving with deep pain at a personal level for leaders like Ajit Pawar as well as Sharad Pawar. At the same time, their future seems to be that one will have to get completely vanquished. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let's take a quick look at what is happening in Himachal Pradesh. Much ado about nothing or storm in a teacup. Sir, the Himachal Pradesh's CM's samosas go missing and this is a huge storm. Isn't there anything better to talk about from Himachal Pradesh? I'm just curious, sir. It does make for good viewing.
Sir, we all are familiar with that book, Who Moved My Cheese? And in fact, it's a wonderful book which prepares you for all kinds of consequences and all kinds of changes. Changes the reality. But here, this is a case of who ate my samosas, rather. Now, this is, I mean, the event would have gone actually unnoticed. It's a small thing. But then, if you get a CID to inquire and officials are questioned as to what happened, well, the episode belongs to October 21st, when Himachal CM 𝗤𝙗 𝗢𝘂𝘁 who has just recovered from an ailment to inaugurate a cyber station in Shimla. Now, the IG of the CID department, I mean CID wing of the Himachal police, decides that some snacks may be ordered, and he asks somebody to get, samosa and cake from a 5-star hotel in Shimla, that is Radisson Blu. Now, that instruction is passed on to a sub-inspector, and that sub-inspector in turn passes it on to a ASI and a constable, and they are off to that 5-star hotel in Shimla to get 3 boxes of samosa and cake. And when they arrive, they are handed over to another police official, rather a women inspector, and she in turn gets it delivered to another department. And Chief Minister comes, and incidentally, Chief Minister is on a very strict diet. So he has not been taking the samosa or anything. Normally, I am told in Shimla, wherever Chief Minister attends function, where this, sir, our Indian practice is in all functions. Perhaps it might surprise you that why do they have snacks in an official function? But our Indian system is, whether it is a meeting, whether it is a function or anything, nothing is without eating. So we eat and meet. So that's why they say, manthan, bhojan and visram. This is a standard practice. So you can imagine the samosa have arrived, the Chief Minister arrived, the function got over. When the Chief Minister left, the senior police officers decided to have a cup of tea, very happy with the way the function had gone. That is the time when one of the senior officers said, "Yaar, ye to humne samosa mangwaye the, wo kahan gaya?" What happened to that samosa we had got? We had asked them to get samosa. What happened? Leo, we can have it with tea. Then when they found out, then the officers were told, "Sir, wo to khatam ho gaya." Khatam kaise hua bhai? Kisko khilaya aapne? Whom did you feed? They said, no, we gave it to that motor technical team or something. And we gave it to that security personnel who came with the Chief Minister. And this was very hard to digest by the senior officers. They said, what nonsense is this? Humne mangaya, aapne kisko khilaya? Who asked you to feed them? And then I think the officers were very angry. Of course, now many officers are saying, well, this is what happened. We were relaxing. हमने सोचा भाई हमने तो समोसा मंगाया, let us have it. We just wanted to have it. Now, then, but what happened was, it would have gone like this. They could have simply they could have got another 3 boxes. And it seems that a plate of samosa costs 300 rupees or so, I am told. The Radisson Blue samosas, which probably a plate has got 2 or 3 samosas. Of course, there was cake also. Now, I'm not sure whether the 3 boxes that came, they were paid for. And normally, business establishments, if it's an order coming from the police department, they would rather treat the order as a complimentary order and send it like that without a bill. I mean, this is a very, very standard practice. I mean, they take it as an opportunity to serve the guardians of the law. Now, you can imagine, but what happened was, they actually got inquiry. An order was issued because this was seen as an act of disobedience. And they said, we were told to bring it here, but you got it here. So then it was made out as an anti-government thing and other thing. Now, when reporters approached Sukku also said, look, this is how to make a big issue out of nothing and to put my government in trouble. And he took it also as a matter of, as advised by the police officials, this is a matter of discipline. Because the superiors told the cops to get it for themselves. But they got it and gave it to somebody else. Achha. Now, since an order has been issued and inquiry, and all 4 or 5 cops were questioned. By kisne laya, kisko diya, kahan bata, who circulated it, what happened, who. I mean, instead of getting 3 more boxes or 10 more boxes or feeding everybody with a hot samosa in the current Shimla weather, they got down to nitpicking and trying to find out. Now, when the story is out, naturally it took up, we saw the Indian channels going gaga over it because this is the kind of story television loves. With the entire North India getting the first feel of winter, you can imagine television pictures of hot samosas getting ready in a boiling pot of oil, and nobody is bothered about cake, and some channels went to the extent of even interviewing people having samosas. भाई ये कैसा लग रहा है कि समोसा का लेकर इतना बड़ा समस्या हो गया, and those people who were enjoying their samosa could not understand. यार इसमें क्या है, सबको खिला दो, because the solution is, but then these are special samosas. These are 5-star or 7-star samosas, probably filled with, the fillings would have been quite ones with dry fruits and cashew and whatnot, probably, because otherwise the officers should not be so upset that these boxes were missing. Now, after that, what has happened, sir? Now the Congress government has been trying to downplay it, saying, no, this is non-issue. ये क्या issue बना रहा है? कुछ नहीं है. And the IG officer of the CID department also was willing to give bite, saying, ये कुछ नहीं था, हम पूछ रहे थे कहाँ गया, इतना ही तो बात है और कुछ नहीं. But fact that they made an inquiry, they started quizzing people. Sir, this is coming at a time when the popularity of Sukhu government is quite nosedived. See, that's a point. And earlier you had that controversy, they have been having difficulty in trying to implement the promises they made after the elections. So the charge is that, they have imposed tax on the water tax on the number of toilet seats you have in your home. Because as such, Shimla is a water scarcity city, and that they wanted to somehow get some ways of increasing their revenue. That was a big issue. Ye kya, toilet par bhi. Now, one hand you have the Arvind Kejriwal's Sheesh Mahal toilet, which again became a big issue. How they spent more than lakhs or crores for having so many of those ultra sophisticated toilets, which would determine what kind of wash you wanted, a dry wash or a warm water wash or whatever, with the press of a remote. And you had the BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra giving graphic details of how the toilet seat would work. And for a person who initially had criticized Sheila Dikshit for having more than 10 ACs in our government quarters, and today that Sheesh Mahal has got probably more than, some people are saying 25 ACs or 50 ACs or whatever, because the inventory list. And this toilet seat went missing after Arvind Kejriwal vacated the premises. Sir,
let's have some fun. We have some memes loaded up. Sachinji has got a lot of stuff done. Here we go. Sir, now chai pe charcha has become samosa pe charcha.
Sir, BJP, in fact, yesterday and today, they have been organizing street corner meetings, offering samosas. Hum khilayenge samosa. They have been, in Himachal, they have been doing this. Now, sir, you can just imagine, you have ordered samosas for which probably, you are not going to pay for it. Neither the government would have paid for it, and they've just vanished. And nobody knows where 3 boxes went. I do not know. Some figures are there. I ordered 22 samosas.
So there was a movie called Wake Up Sid. Maybe we should invoke the same Sid here. Samosa Investigation Department.
No, sir. I was wondering how Rahul Gandhi must be thinking about this whole episode of a government whose government which was one of those governments that came to power making so many promises. And Sukhu has been having a lot of trouble, and his popularity has gone down. Recently, the entire the Congress unit has been completely disbanded. All committees of the Congress have been disbanded because there's so much of infighting. Excepting Pratibha Patil, who remains Pratibha Singh, who remains as Himachal Pradesh Congress chief, rest all have been named. So Sukhu has been having his back to the wall because he has not been keeping well and just recovering from an ailment, and above all, this has come. Now, of course, the police officers are trying to find out who among them leaked this whole episode, because this must have been somebody who is happy on 2 counts. A, he didn't get the samosa, and 2, how these people have messed up the samosa party. Sir.
Shekharji, we have a few more memes. One is Jaspal Bhatti's amazingly humorous stuff. Let's take a look at this.
जो कल मीटिंग के लिए चाय आएगी वो यहीं ऑफिस में बनवानी है या बाहर से मंगवानी है?
गुड क्वेश्चन। ऐसा करेंगे कि चाय तो हम यही बनवा लेंगे, समोसे और गुलाब जामुन बाहर से मंगवा लेंगे। अब मैं आपको जरा सिटिंग प्लान समझा दूं। यहाँ सेंटर में बैठेंगे चेयरमैन साहब, यहाँ मिस्टर जैन और उनके साथ मिस्टर आहूजा, यहाँ गौतम जी होंगे, उनके साथ मैं। ये जो 4 आपको रेड पॉइंट्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं, यहाँ हम रखेंगे गुलाब जामुन, और ये जो 4 ब्लू पॉइंट्स हैं, यहाँ समोसे। इन बिटवीन चाय रखी जा सकती है। इज एवरीथिंग क्लियर?
यस।
लेकिन सर मीटिंग का एजेंडा क्या होगा?
एजेंडा तो कल भी देख लेंगे, लेकिन माइंड इट, समोसे कच्चे नहीं होने चाहिए।
This is fantastic video, sir. We remember Jaspal Bhatti used to entertain us on Doordarshan, on the national channel, and people would look forward to his episode. And this is way back in somewhere mid-80s, if I remember right. And we would love it. And he took a complete pot shot of the entire bureaucracy. Sir, even there is one episode where a boss dog goes missing, pet dog. And everybody in that company or the department, they go searching for the dog. And apparently it was probably it was a black dog or a white dog, I don't remember. And finally, in order to please the boss, and not only the boss, actually it is the boss' wife, because it's her pet dog that went missing. They catch hold of some other dog, paint it and present it to say, this is your dog. Then the episode ends with, there is a downpour and the paints wash off, and and when the boss wife sees the dog, she goes livid. What is this? This is not my dog.
There's one more video we have to share. Just let's look at this one.
This is the leader of the opposition, Jairam Thakur. They have been having a campaign all over the state.
Well, we have a few questions, Shekhar-ji, for you.
Yes, sir. So there is, I think, one more topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was done. Go ahead, sir.
There's just one more topic, sir. This is the victory of Donald Trump, which is depressed people in India, particularly the opposition leaders, and also the so-called ecosystem. Their ecosystem, they are very down, and they are not saying anything excepting the routine congratulatory messages to Donald Trump, and Rahul Gandhi made it a point to congratulate Trump, at the same time also greet Kamala Harris in a tweet, saying that she fought well. This is very unusual. Normally you congratulate the winner and you don't say anything to the loser, but here Rahul Gandhi felt so identified with Kamala Harris' struggles, and he decided to even write 2 separate letters. One to Donald Trump, that how under his leadership he looked forward to growing Indo-American ties, and in the case of Kamala Harris, wishing her success in future endeavors, in a way conveying that Congress party is really feeling very sad, very sorry for Kamala Harris. Now, on the other hand, in the ruling side, you can see that there is a lot of relief, because a lot of things that has happened in the last couple of months, 3 months, those things can come to an end. One, particularly how the American deep state has been operating through Canada, particularly encouraging the Sikh extremists, the Khalistani supporters, and using that issue to somehow attempt to create problems for the Indian government, accusing even Home Minister Amit Shah of some kind of plotting to or behind assassination bids in Canada. Then you have also seen how a case has been brought before the US court involving undercover agent of the government of India and trying to pay somebody to kill your Pannu, who is a known face. And very fact, sir, Trump's election is making a lot of sense, and people have noted Elon Musk's remark that Trudeau will be gone soon, that when the next elections take place in Canada, he'll be gone. That statement has been noted because Elon Musk has emerged as a very important aide of Trump, and he may play a formal role in the next administration. That is being watched here with a lot of interest, because there is an expectation, and there are reasons for that, that Trump would not allow this kind of thing to undermine either Prime Minister Modi or his government or officials, because the focus would be on, boosting ties, boosting strategic ties, boosting. So you can see that way the things are shaping up. Now, the big question is, why is opposition so upset about the results in America? Well, I mean, there are many of us who believe that Kamala Harris, whether we agree with her or not, with her policies or not, probably did manage to, put up a fight. Probably she had little time, or she chose issues that did not resonate with the large section, because if you look at the popular vote that Trump got, and somebody has even written a piece saying that what Donald Trump offered to voters was, straight away giveaways were there, that this would happen. Whereas in case of Kamala, it was all cash vouchers, that we'll do this, we'll do that, which is, people are not interested in gift vouchers. They want concrete things to happen. I mean, this has been argued, and today we are already seeing within Democratic Party the blame game has started. Now, Nancy Pelosi has directly blamed Biden, that it is Biden dragging his feet over his nomination and then finally bowing out. This is what has upset the Democratic Party's chances this time. Well, that will be a separate debate that's going on. But in India, there is a feeling that everybody is mentioning the name of George Soros, and there have been articles appearing saying that Kamala Harris was very close to George Soros. At least the Democratic Party people, campaign people who were involved in the campaign, a lot of them had the backing of the millionaire who believes in pushing forward his ideals of democracy and free speech, and etc., etc. And definitely there has been an impression in India that certain Democratic Party leaders and some members of the Biden administration have been not favorably disposed towards Prime Minister Modi. And just as it has been said about Justin Trudeau. Now, this election, in that sense, will give Modi government a lot of chance now to refocus on improving ties with America, whether it is strategic issue, trade issue. There are 3-4 areas where people are expecting some big improvements between in the way America and India deal with each other, whether it is about dealing with issues like Ukraine or Gaza, or issues like dealing with the challenge posed by China, and with Trump's plan to open up further oil exploration and further oil production, which would also mean the prices would remain stable, because none of the current oil producing countries would try hiking the prices. So some kind of stability, that's the kind of thing that would help India, because that will give us more cushion from inflation. Sir.
Thank you so much, Shekhar. Sorry about missing out on this one. Very, very interesting things coming up, sir. Trump has been working like a man on a mission, sir. From day one, from November 6th, when it was confirmed that he was going to win, he has been doing press conferences with a very clear roadmap of what he's going to do. And we are going to be sharing more such vision statements in the next few days to come. Viewers, do look at it. We are just saying what he said, okay? We are not in any way saying that, yes, he's going to do it. We are just saying what he is saying that he is going to do. Look at it from that point of view. It's like, mission statement, something like that. We are going to be sharing that, so do look for those. Sir, let's take some questions now.
Sure.
Madan Kumar Shalu, thank you so much for becoming YouTube member. Corporate SME Loans wants to know, Shekhar sir, what are the highlights of Project 15 of Heritage Foundation? What are the possibilities of enforcing it by Trump regime? It seems to be a much needed one.
Well, Shree, you will be able to throw more light on this, I think.
I have to look into it. I'm sorry, corporate, that I have not had a chance to look at this. There was another thing called Project 2025, which was not even Trump's idea, and they were trying to stick that to Republican Party, saying that if he comes, he'll implement this. It was a complete negative campaign that Democrats did. I mean, anyway, let's go on. I don't have an answer to you. Sorry about that. Tyagarajan Sankaran wants to know, it's a pleasure to listen to your analysis, very fair and square. What's your opinion about the results in the two states?
Well, sir, I personally feel that we have always been talking of what could be a worst case scenario and what could be a best case scenario. Well, I feel that if you look at the way the campaign is proceeding in Maharashtra, there is a sense of confidence in the ruling Mahayuti. There are terrible issues. I mean, there are some common problems, which is rebels are there. There are, of course, many of the rebels were somehow persuaded to withdraw, both from the Mahayuti side as well as, but there is a tension on both sides where they have not been able to satisfy all ticket aspirants. How this is going to play out? The second thing is, voters are still confused about parties and candidates and things like that. But the third element is, in terms of the perception the one had at the time of Lok Sabha elections and what we are seeing now, there has been a big change where the Mahayuti, particularly under Eknath Shinde, looks more confident. Particularly, it feels that it has delivered on certain issues, particularly its promises, the rollout of this 1,500 rupee monthly ladki behan yojana, which is making a big impact. And even Sharad Pawar has acknowledged that Mahayuti may benefit from these schemes that it has rolled out. Though I still feel people want a change. So this is a very interesting election, sir. And in Jharkhand, I can see that BJP is working very hard, particularly in tribal areas. Now, the best case scenario, and the Congress is also promising that we will increase it to even more. The 1,500 will become, they are talking of increasing to 3,000 rupees. Whereas Eknath Shinde is also talking of increasing to 2,100. So now this scheme has really taken off, and Prime Minister has also mentioned about this scheme in his speeches both yesterday and today. So, I mean, best case is, they get a comfortable majority and come back in Maharashtra. But what could be a difficult scenario which could open up a lot of possibilities is you have a result which is where both parties, BJP and Congress, they emerge as first and second parties with large numbers. Then there could be a lot of reconfiguration, because BJP and Congress both will have to be closer to 100 for the next formation. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. So, and in Jharkhand, sir, I feel that even if there is a hung house, you are going to see a lot of efforts by the BJP leadership to see somehow form the next government in Jharkhand. Sir.
Next question, please. Sparkly Spirits wants to know, given the America's deep state is working with India's deep state, could the Trump nationalists work with the Modi nationalists to clean up the common enemy, including China?
Sir, I would not use the word clean up of the common enemy. What I am looking at is, there is a possibility where the Trump will look at India as a key partner in trying to restrict the Chinese influence or the Chinese domination in trade as well as on strategic issues. That's one. And number two, we could see an improvement, rather a fast forward of some of the agreements that have already taken place between India and America on strategic issues and supply of latest defense equipment for India. There has been a lot of complaints that things are taking time. That's true. And the third thing could be, Trump could also be renegotiating with China. He could also be, looking at a kind of thing which could put pressure on China to have a better relationship with India. The fact that India and China have agreed to bring peace on the border, the latest agreement, that is also has come just on the eve of the American presidential election. So whatever Trump does, China would also like to see that nothing, he does not do anything that will push India further into the American arms or to the Trump's plan. So this is going to be a scenario where there will be issues of trade, there will be issues of security, there will be issues of strategy, where India will be a key player. And particularly, India has already had a dialogue with Russia as well as with Ukraine in trying to end the conflict in Ukraine. And of course, our solution for the Palestine problem is a two-nation solution. So what kind of arrangements would, because the Trump has said that he means it, he wants to stop conflicts. So what is the time plan for Israel to end its operations? Or what will be the response of Iran? Will Iran continue to, because everyone is expecting Iran to mount a very big offensive on Israel. Will it be willing to go that far? And the other thing is, sir, the Trump's open declaration that America will re-enter the oil market in a big way. That itself upsets the existing kind of equilibrium in the oil among the oil producing countries, and Iran is one of them. So every country would like to watch and see what it is, and I do not see Iran suddenly getting into that mold where it wants to get into a war from which it cannot get out, and which is fraught with deep consequences for its own security. Sir.
Thank you, 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘀𝘆 for your sticker. Krishnamurti Hanagund wants to know, Jillelahi Rahul Gandhi has ordered his weasel Revanth Reddy to start Jati Janaganana in Telangana. What's your view?
Well, the Telangana was asked to speed up this count so that it could be showcased in Maharashtra. In fact, Rahul said as much, in Maharashtra a day before, saying that, look, we have started it in Telangana, we'll do it in Maharashtra also, which will be independent of the survey which is happening, which is being planned at the central level, that is the Census of India. The census can only be conducted by the central government. These surveys are by state. But then what happens to the survey that was done by 𝗤𝙗𝘅 government in the previous tenure, and why that is not being released? There is so much of pressure to release because he is not releasing it, because that could again set the caste conflict again back in political terms. And today Yediyurappa has said that 𝗤𝙗𝘅 may have to quit in the next 10 days or 15 days because of the Muda scheme is increasing in terms of fallout. Sir.
Thank you so much, Shekhar-ji. That brings us to a close of today's program. Shekhar-ji will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. IST. Once again, sir, thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, viewers. And dhanyavad. We'll see you soon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.